Thor should have been, no doubt, the most consistently powerful character in MCU. Firstly, he's a god, like a literal god. He grew up fighting monsters that the whole Avengers wouldn't stand. The MCU never lets you see that version of him. You don't need me to convince you of how he's been nerfed through the years. The evidence is all over the movies. When Thor first appeared in the movies, storming into the likes of Jotunheim and swinging the Mjolnir, the moment he got a little arrogant, it wasn't long and they stripped him of his powers. And I know, it was to teach him humility, sure. That's fine for an origin story. But it became established throughout the next Marvel movies he was involved with. Now, Thor gets to be strong depending on what the plot needs. It suddenly became a pattern we had to adapt to. From the Avengers 1 to the Age of Ultron, his powers were inconsistent. Some scenes he exhibits his godlike attributes, and the other scenes he's just a guy punching robots and swinging a hammer. There's no consistency. I particularly enjoy when he summons lightning with intensive impact on the enemies. Next minute, he's just struggling in a fist fight with something Captain America could handle. And to be honest, it felt weird, right? Like something wasn't lining up. In Ragnarok, the fan favorite movie that quietly nerfed him, of course, people loved the humor. But Thor wasn't just made funny, they made him goofy. He was electrocuted, dragged around, outsmarted, and in that gladiator fight, he loses to Hulk. Like, not the comic Hulk, who Thor battles evenly all the time. I mean, the MCU Hulk. And it wasn't even because Hulk was stronger, it was because the movie needed Thor to take an L for the joke to land. And here's something you already know. Thor is not stupid, he's not clumsy. Thor is not supposed to be a comedic relief, not in the comics or even in mythology. Definitely not the version the fans expected. In Infinity War, the one time Marvel actually unleashed him, this was the real Thor, the Thor we waited for. Stormbreaker, the Wakanda entrance, nearly killing Thanos with one hit, even though Thanos had 5 Infinity Stones. That is the Thor who actually makes sense. But we both know what happened next. Endgame just tore everything down. Now, Thor being overweight wasn't the issue here. My problem was with the execution. Thor goes from a universal conqueror to someone who feels like he exists only for comedic reaction shots. When the final battle came, Captain America gets the big moment. Iron Man gets the spotlight. Thor, he barely gets a fight anyone even remembers. You and I both saw it. The Thor who nearly soloed Thanos in Infinity War suddenly can't land a clean hit when Thanos had no stones. No stones. Let's not even go to Love and Thunder because that was just pure character assassination. That was a parody of Thor, a clowned version. And let's not pretend. Jane being instantly masterful with Mjolnir, why Thor was treated like he's bumbling around. Come on, you felt it. Everyone felt that. Now, to compare that to real Thor, the comic Thor, comic Thor is a monster. This is someone who fought cosmic dragons that ate universes. He goes toe to toe with Galactus, survives inside black holes, beats gods from other mythologies. Thor in the comics outmuscles the Phoenix Force. Thor in the comic cracks celestial armor to become the Rune King Thor, who basically sees all of time at once. Thor in the comics lifts the Midgard serpent, a creature the size of the earth, and the MCU wants you to believe that he can't beat a purple warlord without the Infinity Stones? There's no debate there. It's not even close. Marvel nerfed him hard. The truth Marvel doesn't want to admit is that Thor was too powerful for the MCU they created. If Thor was allowed to reach his real potential, there wouldn't be Ultron or Hela domination. There won't be those losses in Infinity War. Neither would Thanos even be a threat in the first place. Thor as a character breaks the story. So they had to weaken him over and over again to keep everything balanced. That's all this really comes down to. Thor should have been the MCU's central powerhouse, a walking apocalypse. Instead, he became the franchise's most inconsistent character, swinging between demigod and comic relief, depending on who's writing him. It's a tragedy that we'll never get to see the God of Thunder. You only get to see the MCU's safe, softened, watered down interpretation of him. Comic Thor would look at the Thor in MCU and barely recognize him. And frankly, so do a lot of fans. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more.